Nonprofit organization serving Montgomery County and surrounding areas, dedicated to the health and well-being of the boxer breed. Lone Star Boxer Rescue is run and managed 100% by volunteers since 1999. Our main objective is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome boxers that come to us from many sources, including local animal shelters, owner surrenders, and strays. For more information about Lone Star Boxer Rescue, visit our website at lsbr.org.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We got a great show, and it's extremely, I guess it's perfect for today. And normally we don't have that. We just have random for the day. So this is finally, we're doing something that is goes right along with what today holds for us in our memory. And there's not many days that you can talk about that you know exactly where you were, exactly what you were doing, what you had for breakfast, and what having for breakfast at the time. But we do on this day, September 11th, 9/11. And so we have with us the person who hosts the show, Veterans Air, right? It's Veterans Air, yes. And it's Douglas Burrell, and he's going to be our guest today. And it's going to be so much fun because he will be doing most of the talking because I'm so curious about his life, how he served, where he served, and all that stuff. I know you served honorably. I can know that for sure.
You're saying all this, Cindy, but you know that I'm an introvert, right? I'm very introverted. I just hide it well.
That's what I am. That's what I am. That's
right.
That's true because I walk out of here and I just want to be by myself and not talk to anybody
We're
or anything
introverts.
like that.
We just hide it well.
Okay. All right. That's perfect. In fact, it's funny because when people would go on the Johnny Carson show and do interviews, and they'd be so quiet, but you see him on the screen and they're like, and all this, but he'd be asking a question. They would give him just like a, yeah, no, not really, and he'd go, Where did you go? Do I need to hand you a script? What is it that you have to have? He says, I'm an introvert. I don't like this kind of stuff, doing this kind of stuff. If I have a script, I have a plan, that's fine. But so I just have a feeling like you're really good off the cuff, right?
Depends who you ask.
Or what I ask you. No, Douglas, it's so funny. He has a show before mine, and he's recording. Are you recording your show? Do you record your show, or is it live?
It's live.
It is live.
99% of the time, it's live.
Oh, good.
Every once in a while, I'll have a scheduling conflict with one of my guests, and then we'll record it. And I do special recordings for special days. Like this morning, my 9/11 tribute went out at 8 a.m., Dick? It went out at 8 a.m., and then I do a normal show on Veterans on May for Memorial Day. Then I do a Memorial Day show, which is a tribute, and then the same thing for Veterans Day. But most of my recordings are live.
Well, I think every day should be remembering, everyone who's out there, fighting for us, and ones that are, in harm's way and that kind of thing, and that you should always be remember them. But we have special days, and this is a really special day because it impacted everybody. And there's kids that are coming up that don't even know what we're talking about because it was, to them, it was a long time ago, and they may have forgotten. But luckily we have stations in this world that still remember, that still have video, that still can play the video and all that. Some may play it more than others and spend more time on it, but it was so impactful that day, and it made just everybody, you know, I talked to would say when they first saw the buildings coming down, they thought it was like were they watching a movie? They turned on to a movie, and they go, "This is real," and that looks like the Twin Towers. And so then the other plane comes, and that's when it hit everybody. Wow, this is real. And so they start talking about how we lost so many people and at one time, and it was in that playing it over and over again every time. It's so hard to watch. Sometimes I can't. I got it turned off just because I can't.
9/11 holds personal emotions for me. And my morning broadcast, it was, I started out with, there are certain events in history that define Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows where they were when Kennedy was shot.
Right.
Everybody knows what they were doing when they heard Elvis died.
Right.
Everybody remembers who they were with when John Lennon was shot in the back.
Right.
And everybody, I believe everybody, remembers who they were on 9/11.
Yes.
Who I was on 9/11 is not the guy you see before you now. Totally different person with totally different values and priorities. And my show was not so much facts and figures and dates and times as it was, this is who I was and how I became to be who I am today because of 9/11.
Right.
I'm emotional about it, I'm sad about it, and I'm angry about it, all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't get a chance to listen to it, I should let you know that VFW 4709 over on Seaman Street, the place with the helicopter, at 6 o'clock, we'll be having the 9/11 Remembrance program. We'll start with the light dinner, sandwiches, and things of that nature. And then we'll go into the ceremony, which is me being the MC, telling you about it. And then we have some other guests that will be bringing pieces of Ground Zero and articles about Ground Zero.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's an emotional yet educational type of ceremony because we do have a lot of children. And I think it's important that our generation passes on to the next generation.
Yes.
What happened on 9/11, why it happened, why we responded to it the way we did,
Mm-hmm.
and why America shouldn't forget this.
Right. Boy, that's so true. Where were you when it happened?
Me, the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, I was a highly paid business consultant delivering a pitch to some board members on the 6th floor in a high-rise down in Houston when it happened.
Oh.
And I was a business consultant, run around, firing people, making changes to businesses and whatnot. I even had a ponytail back then.
You did.
Yes, believe it
were
or not,
very
I
cool.
actually had a ponytail back
You
then.
were very cool. It was perfect. How did you find out? How did someone come into the room and told?
The board meeting started early. We kicked off at 7 a.m. because I had a lot of things to cover for them. And the secretary came in and said, "I'm sorry, I need to interrupt." Turns on the TV, and we were watching the news coverage after the first plane had hit the North Tower. At the time, I thought that was a tragic accident.
Right.
And then the next plane slammed into the South Tower, and I knew that we were at war at that point, that we had just been attacked.
Right. It was just amazing because my son's getting ready to go to college, and he comes in, he goes, "Mom, what's going on? Is this a movie? Look." And he says, "Is this a movie or is this real?" And I went, I don't, what are we talking about? And I went, what? And just then the second one hit, and I went, "This isn't a movie. This isn't a movie. This is real."
This has to be a movie. This can't be.
No, that's right.
Planes don't crash into the World Trade Center.
No,
They don't.
No.
Since the construction of the Pentagon has never been attacked, ever, ever. I know this. I used to work at the Pentagon. But it happened. It happened, and the reaction of the heroes, and I will call them heroes, well, it's 343 firemen from the New York City Fire Department. They died to save people, went back in there to save people. Police, EMTs, ambulance drivers, they all went into the burning hell to pull out as many as they can to save as
Running
many
up
as they
those
can.
stairs while so many people were running down the stairs to get out, to try and get out. It was-
I sit on a couple of nonprofit boards, and I'm also a co-founder of bitterglitter.us. Now, I bring this up because Bitter Glitter as an organization is interesting. It designs motivational products for veterans. So it's a lot of dark humor, a lot of snarky comment t-shirts and things of that nature. But what Bitter Glitter does is nobody takes a paycheck, nobody gets paid, everybody's a volunteer. We source American and small business whenever we can. It's the first priority. And 100% of the profits from bitterglitter.us go either to a veteran service organization, to Tunnel to Towers. We're going to talk about that in just a second.
right.
Local food banks, or as direct grants to veterans. As a matter of fact, I had a veteran contact me. His daughter has MS. She's in one of those big, huge powered wheelchairs. And he was hoping that he could get some help to get her a wheelchair carrier. Well, she's the granddaughter of a veteran. So there's really not any programs for her to take advantage of. So I got the call at Veterans Air, talked to my partner over at Bitter Glitter. I said, we need to do something. And my partner said, you're absolutely right. Gave her a grant and got her the wheelchair lift that she needed. It was delivered yesterday.
Oh, that's great.
There's
That's great.
America, and particularly Texas, and I have lived all over the states and all over the world, is a very generous, it's populated with very generous people.
Yes. Yes,
You
it
just have
is.
to ask.
Right. You just have to ask. Right.
I said I wanted to talk about Tunnel to Towers because that's 9/11. Tunnel to Towers started by the brothers of Stephen Siller.
Right.
Now, this young man was a New York City firefighter. He was off duty on the way to New Jersey to play golf with his brothers.
Oh,
He got trapped in the tunnel when he heard the news. He put on his fire gear that he had with him, 88 pounds, and he ran from the tunnel to the towers.
that's that statue.
That's the statue. That's Stephen Siller.
Oh, man.
Now, I know Frank, who's the CEO. We're both from Staten Island. We're Staten Island boys. And it's a great organization. It's a great organization because of how they deal with the donations that they receive. 95% of every single dollar, 95 cents of every single dollar goes directly to their programs. Not overhead, not payroll. Nobody takes a check there. But they have other expenses, buildings, lights, and things like that. But this organization, and both Veterans Air and Bitter Glitter donate to it regularly every month. At the end of the year, they get a portion of the profits. Because we believe in what they do. They started providing mortgage-free homes, buying off the mortgages for firemen and police officers that lost their lives in the line of duty. It's expanded greatly since then. Now they not only pay off the mortgages for police and firemen that have died, but also catastrophically injured servicemen. And this year, Tunnel to Towers opened up in Tomball. They bought an old hotel reconditioned it, and turned it into tiny little apartments and with all the services that a homeless veteran needs. They have a addition to their mission, and that is to end veteran homelessness.
Right.
So I believe in that organization.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we give to it.
Well, it's so interesting because they do have so much exposure on TV. You're seeing that all the time, and it's so compelling and all. And they brought in, stars, movie stars and stuff that have come in and looked it over and said, "You got to be a part of this." And I knew I had to be a part of it. And Mark. Wahlberg.
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. Yeah, I almost said that. Marky Mark. When he stands there and he says, and they know where every dollar goes, every dollar. He's shaking his hand. He said, and so that was really strong, because so many you don't, you think that that's where it's going. All of it's going that way to them, and they know where it is. They know where all the money is. And a lot of times you find out it may have been used for other things that you didn't know about, but you're sure that tunnels, the towers, is going to happen. Now, Houston has a large apartment complex, or a complex now. This isn't the one that you're talking about in Tomball. There's another tunnels to tower there's apartment complex going up for the veterans.
I believe that is from the VA, and that's transient housing for. Are you familiar with Fisher House?
No.
So Fisher House is privately donated. They're small apartments, usually on the VA campus, that the family of veterans that are receiving long-term care can stay in. Fisher House is absolutely fantastic. I stayed at the Fisher House when my brother was in the hospital in the Bronx. The one I believe you're talking about is transient housing by the VA. So they're going to do the same thing that the Fisher House does. We do have a Fisher House for Houston. I believe they have 16 apartments, so it's not very large. But this one is going to be, I think I heard 28.
Yeah, it's
apartments.
huge. Pictures.
And it will provide transient housing for veterans and their family that are going back and forth to DeBakey to receive care.
Yes.
So you may be receiving care from the VA at any given time as an outpatient, but you need to be close to the hospital. Got cancer, you need to have your chemo and radiation every single day. It becomes difficult to almost impossible for somebody that lives in Beaumont to go back and forth to Houston to get that care. So I believe the one that you're talking about is VA funded as transient housing.
Well, it's wonderful. I mean, I'm just so happy that they're paying that kind of attention and that kind of resource for them to be able to have, because they deserve it. Of course, they deserve it, and that's what we need to be spending money, a lot of money on, that we don't, and it's so aggravating when they talk about projects that they want to do, and I go, we don't need that right now. Now, I'm a horrible one to talk about budget, and I would never, say anything bad about people that it's hard for them to keep a budget. But the government sends these kids out to different places, and something like this happens, that they need the compensation needs to be there. And so Tunnels to Tower has really shamed a lot of the programs that our government has not done. And so it's been great. I'm so excited for that coming up.
I'm a veteran support officer, and that means that I support veterans to get the benefits that they've earned.
Right.
Sometimes the VA is a boon and it's a bust. It's a crapshoot. It really is. It's difficult to get to know what your benefits are. So I serve as that interim step to facilitate for the veterans. Now, I say that because I'm going to tell you that I am very, very hard on the veteran community. I don't think that a veteran is entitled to anything. And for me, there's two types. There's the guy or the woman that put on the uniform, served honorably, got out, is now standing there and says, give me something, I'm a vet. There's another person that served honorably, got out, and now he says, what else can I do? I still have to serve my country. I still have to serve my community. I deal with veterans. I don't deal with vets.
Interesting.
And every veteran that's dealt with me will tell you, Doug tells me that I'm not entitled to anything. You're not. As a veteran, you signed a contract with your government and said, you're going to do this, 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 this. And if you do that, then the government is going to compensate you with this, 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 and this. Everyone assumes that if you go into the military, you have free college, it's paid for. No, it's not. That's a choice every individual veteran makes, whether he wants to save for his college. And if he chooses to, then the government said in the contract, we'll match that dollar for dollar. So if I save $10,000 for college, when it comes time for me to use my GI Bill, there's $20,000 there for me to use. But that's not an entitlement.
Yeah.
It's a contract between a veteran and his government.
Mm-hmm.
The government likes to change the contract mid-course. But then you have me, like people like me, that go, not so fast.
No. Oh, good. That's good.
These men and women, they were sent off to war. And I've been in combat myself. And I believe that they were untrained for the horrors that they were going to see. And they've come back broken in body, broken in mind. Well, we as a nation have an obligation to care for these veterans. Why? Well, you have an obligation, nation, every citizen in this nation has an obligation to care for these veterans because they went so you could stay at home.
Right. That's right.
It's as simple as that.
Well, I
Police
understand.
get killed, we as a nation,
Right.
we have to take care of that family, the survivors. Why? Because we didn't put on a badge that morning.
That's right. See, that's what I mean. It's like the first responders that we talk about and the ones that walk out there and put themselves in harm's way for us, and that tries to protect us from anything happening to us, is so important. And it just, it drives me crazy about the defund. Just this defund the police, and we'll send out social workers and send them out. And it's just, it's really laughable. And I think Americans are so that they understand how scary that is, because it's going to be like, who are you going to call? Not the Ghostbusters anymore. It's going to be, you want to call the police.
I would like to live in that world.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to live in that world where we don't need policemen.
Well, you don't need them, yes.
But the reality is we don't live in that world.
No, we need them, yes.
And I count on the policemen to protect me from the evil that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cindy, trust me, I can protect me and my family very, very well.
I'm sure you can.
But there's time that I can't always be everywhere that they're
Sure, right.
I want my wife, my daughter to be able to pick up 911 and have that call answered and a policeman come and shoot the bad guy.
Right.
That's what I want.
Right.
That's why we have the police.
Right.
I gotta tell you something. I've been stopped a lot because being disabled, I have a problem with my leg and it just presses down on the accelerator too much. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, I'm going to write that down. Write that down.
I've been stopped a lot by the police. And I've gotten my share of tickets because I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You should not be doing 102 in a 65 going down 99. You should not. But I've also gotten a lot of, don't do this again. Because, and I have police officers that are friends of mine. And they're scared to make a traffic stop because they don't know who you are.
Oh, sure.
They don't know what mental frame you're in. So it's scary to get out of your cruiser and walk up to the window and tap on it and say, driver's license, please.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's going to happen. So you're already on edge.
Right.
And then you give the police officer an attitude. What are you, stupid? You're going to get a ticket. You've already broken the law. You're going to get a ticket. So be nice to him. Maybe he'll let you escape because he doesn't want to do the paperwork. Don't argue with them about your rights. The cop can't do anything about your rights. You get to argue your rights being violated when you get to court.
True. That's true. And I feel so sorry for them when they have to get out of the car and they don't have a partner with them. I don't understand why they go anywhere without a partner with them.
Not enough funds.
Right. And so they have to walk up there by themselves. They don't know how many people are in the car because the windows are all tinted totally black. And so you can't see in. And they have to knock on that window and see who's going to roll down the window and what's going to come out of the car and be ready. But they can call for backup, like if they have to stop somebody and they have a feeling about this, there's a vibe in the air that this may be dangerous, and they need somebody to come help them or be there for them. And I feel so sorry for them. They have to do that and not know what's going on, because they go these domestic violence, those calls, and that's the worst because it's just like walking into a war zone because they have no idea who's getting ready to and what their mental state is. Mm-hmm. And so of course the police officer's mental state of high anxiety, and then they're running into someone whose wife has done who knows what, and the husband's mad, and it's just so scary for them, and being able to appreciate that and understand that. And so whenever that the dolphin player,
oh, the one that was just arrested, yeah,
didn't just jump out of that car and say, "Yes, sir. What do you want me to do? Which way do you want me to hold my hands?" "Yes, sir." Yeah. Okay. I'm so sorry that I was doing that. That just, and you are exactly right to give me a ticket. Why they aren't schooled for that, or because they feel like they are a dolphin, they're on the way to the game, and they've got to get there, that they have rights and they're entitled to a little bit of mercy, but to have his friends stop and go like, "Hey, y'all know who y'all have got on the ground here," and I felt, it's just a bad look optically. It was just a really bad look for everybody. And he was embarrassed, and he didn't want to be out there on the ground.
He should have been embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll tell you, I speed, and all right, Conroe Police Department, strike that from the record. I'm a law-abiding person, and I obey all traffic laws. But I speed, and every single ticket I've ever gotten, except for one, I deserved that ticket. Now, the ticket that I didn't deserve was in Fulshear, Texas. The speed trap.
Oh, Fulshear. You said Fulshear, Texas.
Fulshear, Texas.
Fulshear, Texas.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a long story, but needless to say, I didn't know that this was a famous, folk song too, when it happened to me, because I was brand new to Texas at the time. But that's the only ticket that I didn't deserve.
Maybe
every other ticket I deserved.
Maybe if you'd known more about the history of it, you'd told them, "Listen, I'll take you all to the barbecue place, because it's the infamous barbecue place at Fulshear." We would drive for hours trying to get to the Fulshear barbecue place. It was so good. Have you ever eaten at Fulshear barbecue? Okay, you're too young, but it's amazing. So that's good. That's the only one that you really deserved. That's pretty good. And
No, I deserve them all except for that one.
oh, you deserve them all except for that one.
Every
Okay.
ticket I've ever gotten, I've been in the wrong. I will say that I've gotten warnings, a hell of a lot more warnings than I've gotten tickets in my life.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I contribute that to not being a threat to the officer. Mm-hmm. Treating them the way that I want to be treated, and showing the respect to that officer's station.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
respect is earned; it's not given.
Right.
You're not given respect just because who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But you do need to respect the badge. You do need to respect that station that person holds.
Sure.
And is it really difficult for me for when I'm stopped to roll down my window, put my hands on the steering wheel, turn on my dome light, and just wait for him to come up? No, what's that? That doesn't cost me anything.
Of course not.
It costs me nothing.
And then
And
you
Joseph-
put him in a good mood.
That's right. Can I see your driver's license? Sure, my driver's license is in my pocket. I'm reaching slowly for it. Pull it out, give my driver's license, give my concealed carry permit. You look at it, they say, "Are you armed?" Well, yes, I am. Where's your weapon? It's there in the black bag on the passenger side. Don't reach for it. I'm not moving, officer. Would you like to secure the weapon for your own safety? And sometimes they say yes. Sometimes they go, look at the bag and they go, "This is a great bag. Where'd you get that?" It's I respect their station, and they're doing exactly what my tax dollars is asking them to do.
Right. Right.
I'm asking them to police the street to get people that are driving like a maniac off the road.
Right.
That's their job.
Yes, and I drive so much better now that I'm over 75. But before, because that's about how fast I would be driving those times. No, but anyway, I'm so much better. But I've been stopped, and one of the funniest stops I ever had was this guy. The police officer came up, and he had an attitude like he thought I was gonna give him, and he comes up. Let me see your license. What do you mean driving that and that? And so I gave my license. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that, it's my fault, and you were right to stop me. I'm glad you did. And I gave it to him, and he said, I'll be right back. So he goes, and he's in the car a long time. I'm going, what has he found out about me, or who does he think I am? He's taking so long, and it's starting to scare me. And he comes back and he goes, okay, you can go. And I went, well, I'm not going to get a ticket? No. I said, well, sir, if I deserve a ticket, I want the ticket. I want to go in and go through the pain of it and all that, because I shouldn't have been doing that, and you're doing your job. He goes, no, I'm not going to give you a ticket, okay? I said, well, can you tell me why? And he goes, I can't find my book. I think I left it back at the place. and I mean, veins were sticking probably out to here, trying to keep from laughing because I didn't want to laugh at him. I went, well, that's okay. We all make mistakes. It's all right. Okay, well, thank you so much. I'll drive safe. I'll be better. I won't do this again. He goes, okay. He just walked off. He was just like somebody knocked him in the head. Oh,
I was in Corpus Christi, coming back from working with the veterans, like 2 a.m. in the morning, and Corpus Christi roads are horrible, absolutely. I mean, they're pothole city over there. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning, ain't nobody else on the road, so I'm going right down the center line.
Yes,
avoiding
trying
the
to miss it. Yeah.
Cop pulls me over. Checks the license, registration, the whole 9 yards. Takes the weapon, keep himself safe, and he comes back. He goes, "Why are you weaving all over the road? Have you been drinking?" I said, "I don't drink, officer." He says, "Well, why were you weaving all over the road?" I said, "I was trying to miss the potholes." He steps back, looks left, looks right, hands him the license. He says, "You're right. Go ahead."
That's great. That's great. But I've done such stupid things before we could watch movies on your phone or anything like that. I would stop at a Walmart. I had to drive like 7 hours, so I stopped at a Walmart and bought a little TV and then not transform. Anyway, where you could plug in the into, and so I bought VHS tapes, and so I put them in, and it's sitting down in the passenger side, and so I'm going along, and I've been eating everything that I could stop and get. I don't
Road
drink.
food.
There was no alcohol. I don't smoke, and so it's like, but I had the TV going, and he came up and stopped me and came around there, and he goes, "What is that?" I said, "You're gonna get a ticket." And so he wrote the ticket out, and I said, "Okay, you're right. It was really dangerous, and I'm sorry. You're right. One day, maybe I can just listen to the audio of maybe I just record the audio of these TV shows, and I could play it, and then it would." He says, "I don't care what you do, just you're gonna get a ticket." So he gives me the ticket, and that was it for him. That was like, okay, goodbye, and he leaves, and so I'm going like, okay, great. Then that helped me understand, like that was really stupid. You were stupid riding and getting stopped by a policeman and not having any better excuse than what you gave him. So I've had those run-ins, and the lesson would last for maybe till the next time I got in the car. I wasn't really good about following what I'll never do that again. I'll never put myself in position. I'm going to always do under 65. So, but now I'm better now. I really am. Something clicks whenever you get to be old.
The older you get, they say the wiser you get. Mm-hmm. And that's probably the best way that it should work. Because if you were wise in your younger year, you wouldn't have any fun.
You had no friends.
No fun. So it's
nobody hang out with you.
That's right. You get older, you get wiser. You go, that was stupid. So I tell my daughter all the time, there's nothing that you can do that Daddy has already done. However you screw up, you can pretty much be sure that your father did something similar. Because wisdom doesn't come when you're a teenager or you're a young adult. Wisdom doesn't kick in until you're much older, and you go, that was stupid, I'll never do that again.
But Douglas, you don't think that they stopped listening to you after you said, "There's nothing that you can do that I haven't already done," and so they go like, "Cool, there's my license to be bad."
Let me tell you my daughter's story. So my daughter's she's a licensed therapist and counselor. And she has her clinic up in Lubbock. And she called me one day and she said, "Daddy," and I love living in the South because when your daughter calls you daddy, that's so much better than dad.
Oh, yes.
But she says, "Daddy, I was counseling a patient." And I said, "Okay." She said, "I opened my mouth to tell her something and you came out." Yes. Yes.
So the Bible is right. Raise them up in the way they should go, and when they're old, they'll do the right thing.
Yep.
And but I'll tell you, she's got to be extremely proud of you and everything that your background. Do they understand? Do they appreciate? Do you feel like they're at the age where they understand what all you've done to help this country, help your country, and the things that you're doing for veterans?
Maybe not, because I don't bring that home. Mm-hmm. And if I do, it's an off the cuff thing. Like, where are you going now? Well, I'm heading out to Austin. I gotta do this, that, or the other thing. I do these things that I do now because I felt called to do it because of 9/11. And if you get the chance, please come by the VFW this evening. You can listen to my story.
At 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, we're having a light dinner, some sandwiches and things of that nature, and then we'll start the remembrance program. I do the things that I do now because I feel called to do those things. Now, just like every other member of the military, when we enter, we raise our right hand and we take an oath. It wasn't until 9/11 that I came to the epiphany that no one ever relieved me of my oath. my oath is still there.
True.
I was in the military and I served honorably. I served until my body wouldn't do it anymore. Trust me, my body quit on me. I didn't quit on the Army. I would have still been. I mean, I had no aspirations of being anything other than a soldier.
Where did you serve?
All over the world, actually. I did. I've served in Germany. I've served in Korea. I've served at the Pentagon. I served at Fort Drum. Hey, boys.
Oh,
With the 3rd of the 14th Infantry. I've deployed to Panama Just Cause. I did Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Gulf One. For me, it was a great experience. And it was a great experience for me because I had wonderful leaders. I had really good NCOs and really good officers, which propelled me to advance my military career. Now, I deal with veterans. Most of them did not have a good time in the military. They had bad leaders, or they themselves couldn't adjust to military life. The military is not for everyone. I would not let my daughter serve. I would not. I would fight that tooth and nail. She's not the right person to serve. It's when we think of 9/11, we think of the 2,700 plus civilians that died. We think of the firemen, the police officers that died. And I would hope that America from this day forward becomes the America that was on 9/12 of 2000.
amen. Amen. Yes.
But when we think of this tragedy, when we think of this attack, that America was attacked,
Right.
we're definitely going to respond. It took us a couple of years to get our heads out of our butts.
Yeah,
find
to
out who
wrap
did
your
this.
mind. Oh,
But-
what
but
is it?
We
do?
finally did it. We asked our sons and our daughters, our fathers, our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, we asked them as a country to put on the uniform and go get the one that did this. We asked them. Now that they've come back and they're shattered physically or mentally, whatever the case may be, the enemy did that. Not the military.
Right.
The enemy did that. And I think a lot of society hasn't made that connection. That these men and women that are suffering with PTSD, with lost limbs, catastrophic injuries, the military didn't do that to them. The enemy did that to them.
That's right.
And if citizens stop thinking as individuals and start thinking as citizens, they'll realize that they have to do something. I have to care for these men and women, my brothers, my sisters. I have to. I have to find out a way to do that. And if I can't do that, throw a stick in the air. Because in Texas, you can't throw a stick in the air without hitting a nonprofit that is doing something for somebody.
Isn't that the truth? That is so true. I'm glad you brought that up because we seem to, trying to take care of our own and try and make
Texans
sure
do. I'm going to tell you.
and-
I've lived all over the country.
Yeah.
Texans take care of each other.
Yes, and they say don't mess with Texas. It was the best slogan I'd ever seen.
I'm going to tell you something. Houston has no fear of anything as long as we have HEB and Mattress Mac.
Well, that's a good point. You're so
True.
You're right. 'Cause
FEMA shows up, HEB says, we got it, thanks.
Yeah, we'll take care of this. Listen, Douglas, I just appreciate you so much and so glad I'm able to, be able to talk to you face to face and say Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you're doing now.
It's an
Oh my
honor to
goodness,
serve.
all that you're doing now is just great. And that we appreciate all our first responders. We do. And we feel safe in Conroe. We feel like these people, the first responders, you want to step back and go like, okay, go get them. And they'll do it. And they're going to keep us safe. And I love that, so it's great to have that kind of confidence in what's going on here. And we know that there's bad apples and everything. There's good guys and bad guys, but this is great.
In everything, there's good and bad.
Yeah, and so, but there's more good. There's more better intentions with people that take on this responsibility, and we just appreciate all of you so much. Douglas, thank you for being on, especially now 9/11 today, and we're remembering that and remembering all of our veterans, all the people, all the military out there. We just pray that God keeps you safe.
It was great being with you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And listen, tonight, 6:00, VFW by the helicopter. Right off 45 and where the
Seaman Street.
The WAC, is it not the WAC? Not the WAC.
This side
The
of
wreck.
Candy Cane
The
Park.
wreck. Yeah. The wreck. Okay. So anyway, you guys, go out there and meet Douglas personally, shake his hand, say thank you. But we do thank you so much. All right. So we'll see you next week. We've got Chris Wootton, our sponsor, is going to be on the Ask Me Anything on Tuesday. And then we've got Bob Smiley that will certainly bring a smiley to your face. And that's why we have him on here, is that he comes on and he's blown up. He's got a part in a movie. He's got a book coming out. He has so many things going on. And I just don't know if he'll ever come back again after this, But I feed him. So, and I said, listen, well, what do you want to eat this time? Is Cane's not worthy for you? And he said, no, lobster bisque will be fine. Okay. So it may have gotten to his head a little bit. All right, we'll see you. Call somebody that you love.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.